Okay, Mr. Beroset, if you could begin with how did we end up here today with the charges being dropped against Mr. Campbell?
Well, he was charged on April the 19th, the exact same day that they investigated. He was arrested on basically the statement of the child. There wasn't a complete investigation. He was arrested for 2 life felonies, and his bond was $200,000 at the time of the arrest. After I met with him and talked to him and went through a lot of the information and talked to some of the other people, it became apparent to me that there wasn't a thorough investigation, and I contacted the state. Ms. Patterson, Ann Patterson, is the head of the team that handles these type of cases. She assured me she'd look into it, and she said if we had any information, give it to them. We gave them what we had and we talked about it. They apparently then had this police department do a full investigation, and based upon the investigation, they found that it did not happen. Clear, as simple as that. And so they called me this morning and indicated they were going to dismiss the charges.
Why did you initially think that the investigation had not been done thoroughly?
Because they interviewed the child, no corroborating evidence, and he was taken to the jail, or taken to the police department for an interview. He denied it, and they arrested him, just like that. And so I got to look into his background and was able to get some information from some teachers and some information we heard that certain comments had been made by the child about directed toward him. And so that led me to believe that if a thorough investigation was done, they may dismiss these cases. Unfortunately, they did. We thank the state attorney's office for doing that.
What were those comments that you were concerned about?
Well, we understood that there had been comments that the child had said something to the effect that she was going to get Mr. Campbell or make him pay for that or something like that, related to certain things that were done in class. Okay. Not related to anything improper or sexual at all.
Also, the state attorney also said that they felt that part of the reason why they believe that she did this is simply because she wanted to change schools. Have you also had any contact from the state attorney's office about that as well?
No, we gave them some information, but they were conducting their own investigation through the Pensacola Police Department, and we had heard that there were possibly some issues at home, but we didn't know all that. We didn't have the same investigative authority that they did until the charges had been formally filed. Thank goodness they weren't.
Okay. Mr. Campbell, take us through the process of when the police initially contacted you about this, and what were your thoughts and feelings?
Well, they 2 detectives appeared at school on that day and asked me to come with them to the Pensacola Police Department, and I told them that I would follow them after school, and they said no, that I needed to go then. They wouldn't tell me anything that was going on, why I was being brought downtown. And then when I got down there, another detective was the one that took over. They had told me that there would be another detective that would question me. And in the 3 or 4 hours of questioning that happened after that, she decided that she was going to arrest me.
What did you tell her in regard to the allegations that were being made against you?
Well, I told her that they were absolutely false. That I was flabbergasted that this could even come to this. When she first told me what the charges were, I thought this was insane. There's no way that this could ever happen in my classroom or anywhere else in my life. And in my discussions with her, she would not accept the truth. And the truth was that none of this ever happened. And she just never did. She just kept on until she just decided that she was going to arrest me.
Had you had any particular troubles with this particular student before?
Not huge trouble. Just a normal child in the classroom, as far as I'm concerned. Now, there were some other teachers that had some issues, but nothing that needs to be.
What impact has this had on your life as well as your career?
Changed my life completely. That day will be the day that my life changed completely. It affected not only me, but it affected my family, all of my friends, all of the teachers in that school, and hopefully teachers in every school, because they need to know that all a student has to do is say one thing, and they could be brought through this. So I caution teachers everywhere to be careful, to be very, very careful.
How long have you been a teacher?
This is my second year.
Do you want to go back into the classroom?
Can't answer that question at this point. Just awfully relieved that this has been dropped, and we'll consider that in the future.
Okay. Well, what was your initial reaction when you got the phone call that said this is going to go away, these charges are going to be dropped, state attorney's office is going to say you did absolutely nothing wrong?
Oh, what a great call. Barry called me this morning, told me he had some good news, shared it with me, and I was ecstatic. I just have run the gamut of emotions over the last several weeks, and this is a high feeling that's just hard to beat.
Okay. Talk a little bit about, have you just been staying home? Have you been getting out? Have you gotten any, negative comments from people since these charges were filed against you?
At first, I stayed home. I stayed as a hermit because of part of the court. The judge said that I couldn't be around children. So I felt like if I went anywhere, I was going to be around children, and off comes the police to drag me away, and that just scared me. Then as time went on a little bit, I started getting out a little bit more, being a little bit more confident, and have not lived my life as a hermit in the last couple of weeks. And just started to live life normally again. But it has changed my life because of everything that's happened.
He had electronic monitoring on that he had to have. He had to make a $100,000 bond. It was originally $200,000. He had to give urine tests, and he couldn't be around kids. And he told me that this was the first Easter that he ever remembers missing church because he didn't go to church because kids are there. So I got to know him first in the jail. That's how I met him, and the next day we talked, and it was unbelievable the support that came from other people and teachers. So I felt I was representing a very good man.
Yeah, that was the second part of your question, was about the support. My family has supported me 100%. Every friend that I know, every school teacher that I know has supported me 100%. I've got a great support system when it comes to that. The church has supported us 100%. And so it's been really good in that instance. Now, as far as anyone in the community just seeing me, there's been no comments in the negative way, or even any comments at all, because people just live their lives, I believe.
Mrs. Campbell, talk a little bit about how this has impacted you as well, and what were your thoughts after your husband was arrested?
I was very shocked. I knew he didn't do this. I knew he could never do this. It's not in him. It felt like a nightmare. The first day I thought, I'll wake up and this will all be gone. Of course, as the days wore on, it was not. It was hard. It was very hard, but I knew the truth would come out, and my faith is strong. It's been really difficult trying to shield our daughter, our 11-year-old, from all of this. We've had a lot of help with that too, but it was very difficult. This is a wonderful day.
What was your reaction when you heard the news that the charges were being dropped?
Oh, I was at work actually, and I cried, and I went to tell my boss and a couple of other friends that I work with, and everybody just gathered around me and hugged me, and then my boss said, "You need to go home. You need to just take the rest of the day off." So I was very thankful that the truth is coming out.
Mr. Campbell, can you talk a little bit about the process? And I know your attorney talked about you were brought in, you were interviewed, you were arrested, basically on the word of a child. Do you have any thoughts on whether the process needs to be changed? I know that the outcome has been good now, but just what are your thoughts on the process?
Well, the process definitely needs to be changed. cannot assume guilt on the word of any individual. And that's what was done in this case. And so my name, my life has been slandered because of these allegations. And the process has to be changed in order to protect the innocent. And in this case, obviously, me being innocent, they jumped to a conclusion that I was guilty when I was not. And so I think the investigation could have gone further, and me not being arrested, they could have done their investigation on the front end instead of on the back end of this case. And I hope they do that in the future with anyone else that is accused of something so horrible.
You know, we recognize it's important to protect children, and
absolutely.
certainly they could have asked him not to go to school until the investigation was completed or anything like that. But you know, when he was completely removed, arrested right from school, you know, and I think one of the most shocking things was to him, he knew the charges were very serious. But when he came in and I explained to him that these are life felonies, that if you would be convicted, they should be facing 25 years to life in prison. And he had 2 counts. And, you know, so fortunately, things for him turned out okay.
Yes.
You talked about you're really not sure if you want to go back into the classroom. Why is that?
Because of the fear of this. You know, my life has been altered forever at 46 years old. And I don't know if I'm ready to put myself in that circumstance again.
Have you thought about whether or not you want to take any other, actions as far as this is concerned?
We haven't really pursued that any at this point. We'll look at that in the days to come. Also, it's another thing that we have to sit down and talk about and decide where we go from here.